What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Credit Plug channel where we talk about how to build credit, how to establish relationships with banks and financial institutions, and most importantly, how to get you access to high limit credit funding. If that's something you like to listen to, we welcome you to subscribe. You could also support our channel if you like, share, or comment right down below. It helps our content get out to a wider audience, and we greatly appreciate it. Just as a reminder, we will be having our credit to cash flow webinar today, 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Registration will be open until 6 p.m. So if you want to attend live and interact with myself as well as other program participants, make sure you register by 6. We will be covering various different strategies and best practices when it comes to monetizing credit data and credit accounts in order to generate different streams of income. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely check it out. For today's video, I have another financial institution review. Now, this was actually prompted from another video that I had done several months ago on OneUnited. Initially, all I did was a review of the product that they unveiled a couple months ago with the depiction of Harriet Tubman on their debit card. But I wanted to do a more comprehensive review because I know there were a lot of people who were interested in OneUnited, and I'm just going to provide an overall comprehensive review and just my thoughts and opinions on OneUnited overall. So a lot of you probably don't know, OneUnited is the largest black-owned bank in the United States. And so they offer some products that we're going to go over. So they one of the things that they do that's pretty good is they do offer different information in terms of financial literacy, what's included in your credit score, just some of the basic, essential things. So they do have like information on that on their website, so they're trying to educate and inform people on credit because, a large section of the African American community is underbanked and maybe don't know all the ins and outs of building credit. So that's part of their mission is I think they term it financially lit. So just being more informed on finances and credit. So I think that's a good thing that they got going. Also, too, they do offer checking accounts for people who may not be able to establish a checking account elsewhere because they might have something on their check systems that's preventing them. So one of their banking options, checking account options, doesn't require a check systems report. So they're not pulling your check systems or anything like that. So if you're in a situation where you can't get a bank account, you could definitely check out OneUnited. They do have a second chance checking account. In addition to that, they also have savings accounts as well. You could check that out. But what I really wanted to cover was their Unity Visa Secured Credit Card. Now, the minimum limit, the minimum deposit that you can put down is $250, and it goes as high as $10,000. And so when you do a secure card, you're just putting down a deposit. That deposit is collateral for the credit line that's issued. So if you put down, let's say 10,000, then they'll issue you a credit card with a $10,000 limit, and it's secured by your funds. This secure card unfortunately doesn't graduate, so the only way to get your money back is when you close the account. It does come with 17.99% APR on purchases and balance transfers. It does have an intro APR of 9.95% for the first 6 months. And then it also has a 3% cash advance and foreign transaction fee. And with the cash advances, you can only withdraw 50% of the available credit. It does come with a $39 annual fee, so you'd have to pay that $39 every year. A $35 expedited card fee. So if you want your card quickly, then that's a $35 fee. There is a $10 replacement card fee. So if you lose your card, it's $10. And then they do have a $10 credit limit increase fee. So if you want to add more money, like let's say you only put down 1,000, then later down the road you might want to add a couple hundred more. Just to add money, it's a $10 fee. So that's just one thing to consider. So those are really the personal products that you can get with OneUnited. Other than that, you can't really, there aren't any other unsecured credit products. There's no unsecured credit cards, there's no unsecured loans, there's no unsecured personal lines of credit or anything like that. So if you're looking at One United in terms of being able to get some funds from One United, it's just not going to happen. They don't offer any money. So from what it appears, they will take your money in terms of like having your money tied up in a deposit or in your bank account or in a savings account. But if you needed any money from One United, you can't, borrow any money, not even $1. So I find that somewhat as a drawback with One United because banking relationships, at least the way I look at them, should be mutually beneficial because banks are taking your money and lending it out, being over leveraged with your money. So, that if you have $100 in the bank's lending out $1,000 because of the fractional reserve banking laws in the country where, banks are only required to have 10% in deposits to the amount of loans outstanding. So if you have your money in a bank but you can't get money from that bank, then I think that's definitely a drawback. However, they do have, a couple different things. Like I said, the financial literacy movement and education. They do have the secure card, which will help with building credit in the second chance checking account. So those are probably the three best attributes about One United Bank. Other than that, in terms of the whole bank black movement, it doesn't seem that they're really putting much money, if any money at all, back into the black community. What I lastly wanted to cover, they do offer mortgages and commercial and residential real estate loans. Now, the real estate loans are only in select counties. And so the counties where you could actually get a real estate loan from One United are, well, in Massachusetts, you have Suffolk County, Middlesex County, and Norfolk County. In Florida, you have Miami-Dade County, and in Los Angeles area, California, you have Orange County and Ventura County. Now, when I looked a little deeper into the areas in which they're lending, I found that the majority of the counties where you could actually get a mortgage or a commercial real estate loan have very low proportions of African Americans or black people in relation to the national proportion of 13%. So, there's 13% of the U.S. population is black. But in some of these counties, so let's just start. Suffolk County in Massachusetts has 24% black population, which is well above the average of 13%. But then you look at Middlesex County, which has 1.5 million residents, and only 4.7% of those residents are black. Norfolk County only 5.7, so those two counties are both well below the average. Miami-Dade County, you have 2.8 million people, but 16.7% are African American or black, however you want to say it, which is slightly above, the national average of 13%. However, when you look at the numbers in Miami-Dade County, the average home value in 2020 is $452,000. The average household income is $54,000, and the median household income for black people, right, is 54,000. The median is 40,000. So with the difference between the median and the average is basically you take all the household incomes and you average them. You add them up and then you divide it by the number. So with the black households, it's 54,000 is the average. The median is 40,000. So with the median, it's 50% or above 40,000, 50% or below 40,000. So let's just based off the median of 40,000 because the average can be skewed if there's people who are making a lot more, they're just pulling the average up. But when you look at the median, it gives you a more, you know, I'm not going to say accurate, but it just it's better to I guess get a sense of the proportion of people with certain income levels or household income levels. So 40K household income, and a $452,000 average value. So when you're looking at that, and I'm not a mortgage expert, but it wouldn't appear as though a household making 40,000 would necessarily be able to afford 452,000. So despite having a higher percentage of a black population in Miami-Dade County, it would appear as though the median household black income wouldn't necessarily even be able to obtain um, a mortgage for that amount, just based on the income. Of course, there are people who will be able to get mortgages and things like that. So, but then the most stark, I guess, statistics is when you look at the Los Angeles area where OneUnited gives out mortgage loans. So, Orange County, which is one of the wealthiest counties in the entire United States, they have only 2.1% black population. And this is where OneUnited, a black owned bank, one of the select counties where they're given mortgage loans, where there's only 2.1% of the population is black. Ventura County, which has, according to 2020 numbers, roughly about 850,000 residents, but only 1.8% of those residents are black. So you look at those two counties, 2.1% and 1.8%. Those are well below the national average of 13%. Black population, well below. So it really begs you to think. OneUnited is a black-owned bank, and they're on the empowering black communities. But where they actually in the one place where they actually do lend, the proportion of African American or black people are very low. Four out of the six counties are well below. Even I would say as much as a third or less of the national average of 13%. So just to recap, Middlesex County, which has 1.5 million people, only 4.7%. Norfolk County, 5.7%. Orange County 2.1%, and Ventura County 1.8%. So, I don't really see how, if the only place where they're actually lending is in areas where there's very small proportions of black people, then how are they really uplifting, the black community? Why aren't they lending in areas where the black community has a much greater proportion? Because that's where it would be needed. I mean, you look at Orange County and Ventura County; those are wealthy, majority white counties, but that's where the largest black-owned bank is giving out their mortgages and commercial lending at. So, and then aside from that, you can't even get any personal credit products from them. No unsecured credit cards, no lines of credit. So just looking at it objectively, I know a lot of people rushed over to on the whole idea of banking black, but when you really pull back the curtain, it appears to be the opposite. In fact, Jay-Z had this one line, and for some of you Gen Z, you might have to go Google it, but he was basically saying, won't break you a crumb off the little bit that he makes, but this is with whom you want to place your faith. I put dollars on mine, asked Columbine. When the Twin Towers dropped, I was the first in line, relating proceeds from every ticket sold. So basically, putting your money where your mouth is. And from what I've seen, OneUnited is not really doing that. Like if you want to get a loan from them, you can't. So just looking at it objectively, yes, they're the largest black-owned business, but are they really in black communities? Are they, who are they giving these loans out to? That's a better question, because I know a large percentage of it is to commercial developers and things like that. So that's just my, opinion. And again, you could look up all of these stats, on their website, or you could look up just some of the demographics of the areas in which they operate, and decide for yourself. But if there's anyone in the comment section who's had any experience with OneUnited, definitely let me know what your thoughts are. I'm just giving my objective kind of, and like I said, I'm not knocking them 100%. Like I said, they do have some good products. They have, the no check systems checking account. They do, preach financial literacy, and they do have a secure card that can help people build credit. But when it comes to deploying that money, or enabling their customers who have deposits with them to actually borrow any money, it's just not there. So that's all I wanted to share for this video. Until next time, y'all take it easy, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace.